Welcome back to News Review. A new hotel is to be built on one of Gibraltar's most iconic streets. At a meeting of the Development and Planning Commission, approval was granted for the conversion of a residential building on Castle Street into a hotel.
Castle Street is perhaps better known to many as La Calle Comedia, at the heart of the Upper Town. Now it's to be the site of a new hotel, with the proposal welcomed by the government as one that will bring new life to the area.
There were 32 applications discussed by the Development and Planning Commission this morning. One of them was indeed for a hotel in an area of Castle Street. I mean, this was, as you know, approved by the Commission unanimously and indeed welcomed. I mean, one of the aims of the government is to actually regenerate the Upper Town, to bring in more life to it. That includes, this is the second proposal that the Commission has now approved for a hotel in the Upper Town area. There are proposals also, as you know, to regularly bring out properties to tender in order to regenerate the Upper Town with more people living in it. And there is quite a large private proposal and development for the police barracks area. So really this is part of the policy of the government to regenerate the Upper Town. This particular hotel obviously is a private application, but it was indeed a very welcome one.
The Development and Planning Commission saw plans for an addition to the Great Siege tunnels, a staircase leading to Cornwall's Chamber, an area that till now has been sealed off.
This is a tunnel which goes down to the other chambers in the Great Siege Tunnel. So again, it's something which the government is pursuing not only there. As you know, there are already another proposal related to the Gorham's Cave area and the works linked to the UNESCO site. And indeed, there have been proposals and there's work going on at present in relation to the northern defences. So all this is part of the package that the government is delivering in relation to creating a new tourist product and in relation to developing and making use of our heritage for that purpose.
The DPC considered the scoping of an environmental impact assessment for the proposed wastewater treatment plant, as well as the refurbishment and possible future relocation of the clay pigeon shooting site.
The wastewater treatment plant was mentioned in the meeting and in relation to the scoping opinion and the environmental impact assessment which now needs to take place. This will allow for Gibraltar to treat its sewage and before obviously disposing of it. So in that sense, from an environmental perspective, it's certainly a very welcome project which the Commission was happy to see. So one of the areas which the scoping opinion is now going to look at is a question of relocating the clay pigeon club to the roof of the facility. Now this is something which obviously needs to be looked at in detail, and it's something which is why it's been included in the scoping opinion, because that is the role of the opinion to determine what areas to look at now for the EIA.
And also discussed at the meeting was the beautification of the Wellington Front area, previously raised as an outline application. It's set to include the refurbishment of the lower buildings, lower basin and the roof levels.
In Parliament this week, the leader of the opposition says he hopes the Minister for Economic Development keeps his promise to maintain a tight rein on public finances for the sake of the community. After revealing that cash reserves had dropped to 60 million, Joe Bassano said that in his new role, he'd be keeping a close eye on government departments and ensuring they would stick to the budget set out in the annual appropriation bill. And a bill was passed paving the way for legislation to allow complaints against the health authority to be heard directly by the Public Services Ombudsman without going through an internal complaints procedure at the GHA. This was in line with the GSLP Liberal Manifesto commitment. Conservative MEP Julie Girling has defended Gibraltar's right to be included in the new European civil aviation measures Spain is seeking to exclude the ROC from.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to use this opportunity to bring to your attention a gross infringement of the rights of my constituents, the citizens of Gibraltar, who are also fellow citizens of the EU. I refer to the issue of the single European sky recast proposal. On this file, the Commission originally included explicit language referencing the Cordoba Agreement and the fact that the proposal would apply in full to Gibraltar. In March 2014, this plenary voted in favour of an amendment to exclude Gibraltar and its citizens. This vote was discriminatory and unacceptable. Imagine the outcry if we had excluded EU citizens based on gender or ethnicity, and yet we did so on nationality. This is now blocked in Council, and rightly so, by the UK Government, but that means that no citizen in Europe can now benefit from the new Single Sky regulations. So I call on fellow members to stand up for EU citizens and ensure that this Parliament reverses the discriminatory position.
A plaque to mark International Holocaust Day has been unveiled at Commonwealth Park. The Chief Minister described it as a small reminder which will serve as a permanent memorial.
Keeping the memory alive. That's the focus of this year's Holocaust Memorial Day, with thousands worldwide commemorating the 70th anniversary of the liberation from Auschwitz. Gibraltar too marked the occasion, with the Chief Minister unveiling a plaque at Commonwealth Park. This was followed by a reception where dignitaries and members of the Jewish community and equality rights group were able to contemplate past events. Addressing those present, Fabian Picardo said we should confront the Holocaust, so the horrors that occurred and people that died are not forgotten.
It's one of the proudest things for me to have done after becoming Chief Minister, to actually take the decision that the government of Gibraltar should commemorate this day. This is not a day for celebration, it's a day for commemoration. And it really represents so much of what Gibraltar is about. Gibraltar is about tolerance, about respect, and the Holocaust is about when that respect is lost, when that tolerance is not there, and when one particular set of individuals is in some way attacked because they are different to others. And for us in Gibraltar, we are the complete opposite of that, and therefore this day is about remembering what the consequences of not being like Gibraltar could be again, and never allowing people to deny that the Holocaust happened.
Here for the occasion, Auschwitz survivor Martha Weiss described the plaque as correct and fitting. She's expressed concern with today's world and believes the anti-Semitism that exists in Europe now is on par with that of the 1930s.
It starts with the Jews, or it starts with the Asians, or it starts with somebody different than you are, but it continues until everybody, whole society is enveloped in it.
Her experiences and recollections will be the focus of a talk at the John Mackintosh Hall tomorrow. It was a significant moment too for Naomi Hassan Weisvogel, as the plaque is something the Learning from Auschwitz programme leader has been campaigning for over the last few years.
This for me is a dream come true. I've wanted something in Gibraltar for many years. I think if you go around the world, a lot of cities have something that commemorates. And I think it's important that it's in a park. As I said, it's a place where people can sit and contemplate and read and teach their children how we should be thinking. It's vitally important to have something long-term in Gibraltar.
The event proved to be a moving occasion. Singing from Andrea Simpson set the mood, with students from Gibraltar's middle schools promoting the message at the heart of the event. Serving as a permanent reminder, the plaque sits appropriately underneath an olive tree. Its message, a clear one. We need to learn from the past to create a better, safer future.
That's all for News Review. For more, you can head over to our website, gbc.gi/news, and find us on Twitter and Facebook as well. Thank you for watching. From the team, good night.